I am Angela Cooper. I am your professor for Intro to Stats, Psych 42. So the purpose of this video is to go over the syllabus, of course, just like you would in any more traditional face-to-face class. That first day is usually kind of used to go over the syllabus, expectations for the class, how the class is run, etc. So that's what this video is for. But another bonus component that this video is for is, hey, you guys might have noticed, this is an online class. We don't have that first day meeting that face-to-face classes have. So this video is not only used to give you the lay of the land as far as what this Psych 42 online course is going to be, what it will entail, but it's also an opportunity for you all to actually see my face, know that I am a person on the other side of the canvas, and to let you know that even though you are online students and we don't have that traditional twice, possibly 3 times a week meeting in person like online or like face-to-face counterparts for this class has, that does not make me any less your professor. That does not make me any less a resource that you can utilize if you are struggling, if you need help, if you have a question, if you want to check your work, if you blah, 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 any reason that you need to talk to me or reach out to me. I know I took online classes when I was in college, and I always kind of felt weird about reaching out to my online professor because I thought, oh, well, I've never met them before. They don't even know what I look like, or it feels weird, or whatever I told myself. It's not weird. I am still your professor. You are still my student, and I will still provide you any resources or questions or answers to the questions that you have. Doesn't matter if we never actually have them in-person meeting. I'm still here to help you. And this is still a statistics course. I know I've taught statistics now for 6 years, so I'm very familiar with how students feel about statistics. I don't expect everyone to love it. I do, but I'm biased. But I don't expect everyone to love it, and I actually expect a lot of people to struggle. But however, one thing that I really like teaching about statistics is I like to think that I have an ability to kind of cut through the statistical jargon crap and actually explain it to students in a way that it makes sense. Over the years, I've had students tell me they struggle with math and they're worried about this class, or they took statistics in high school or maybe at a community college or wherever. They took statistics before and they did not get it, and they're nervous about taking it again. Some students have never taken statistics before. Some students have taken it, whatever. There's a variety of people coming into a statistics class from all walks of life and all walks of statistical understanding. My purpose, what I like to do is kind of bring everyone into the same bucket, so to speak. I don't know why we're in a bucket, but if you struggle, I will help you. If you have questions, I will answer them. You just have to reach out to me. I can't necessarily, I don't know where everyone is at individually, and I actually have an assignment to kind of address where each individual person's concern is at, but we'll get to that. My point that I'm trying to make in this before I actually talk about the syllabus, this long soliloquy that I'm going on right now in my living room as my cat looks at me with judgment. Shut up, Petunia. But the point is that if you struggle, if you're worried about this class, I understand. I also took statistics in high school and I didn't get it. I didn't think that my instructor was they were barely a chapter ahead of us in the textbook, and it showed. I am not that. I understand statistics, and if you have questions, I will do my best to answer them. And if I cannot answer it, I will find the answer and get back to you. But I am here to support you guys in your learning, in your understanding. And I feel like that is my job as your professor. I love teaching. I love teaching statistics in particular because I love seeing that moment where students go from, I'm nervous, I hate math and it hates me back, to, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Or, I'm still struggling, but I'm getting it now. At least now I'm starting to understand this when before I didn't think I could. I love seeing that in students because while yes, I can help provide an explanation or a way to teach the material that helps or that actually clicks with you, but don't forget that there's another side to that. You guys are also putting forth that effort. You are also putting in the your own mental time and effort and energy to understand it. So as much as I would like to take credit and be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 realistically, I know that it's a two-way street. It's how I inform you guys, and it's also how you take it, what you do with it. So don't sell yourself short. Long story short, my goodness. Anywho, so here's the syllabus. Here we go. So this top part is pretty much how to contact me. So you have my email address on there. I'm also available if you want to message me on Canvas. I'm open to Canvas messages as well. So whatever you're comfortable with, email or Canvas message, I am also fine with, so go for it. The important thing is that if you have questions or need to reach out to me for whatever reason, that you do. I'm not really particular of how you do that. So I'm Professor Cooper. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Anyway, so my office hours are on Wednesdays from 11 to 1 p.m. My office hours are in person, so that's going to be in Science 2, room 219. We're going to have an assignment, that same assignment that I mentioned earlier that kind of addresses like each individual student's concerns. My office hours are going to be a part of that. So again, I'll get into that as we move forward. Obviously, this is an online class. You guys already know this, and it's 4 units. You probably already know that as well. Course description. So with me going over the syllabus, I am not going to read this word for word because you don't want that. I don't want that. You have eyes. You can read this on your own time. But essentially, I'm describing the course. And then prerequisites, blah, blah, blah. Course materials. So we do have a textbook. However, this is completely optional. I do not take any questions from the textbook. For some of my lectures, I will use examples from the textbook just as a way to kind of help to explain whatever statistical test or whatever we're covering that week. Sometimes I'll use examples from the textbook, but ultimately, if you do not have to buy it. If you are the kind of person who wants an additional resource to work with the material, then yeah, sure, go ahead, get the textbook. But it is not necessary to pass this class or do well in this class to purchase that textbook, which is another reason why, if you do want to purchase the textbook, I say any edition is fine. Get a used copy, get an older edition. I am big on not having my students pay out of their bum for textbooks or for materials for the class. Because life is expensive enough as it is. And I don't think that getting a $200 statistics textbook that you don't understand because it's riddled with jargon, difficult to read, painful to read even, that you open once just to make sure all the pages are in there and then you never crack it open again. I'm not going to have you guys spend that much money if just on necessity, if you don't intend to use it. I don't use it other than, like I said, the examples that are in my lectures, but that's it. And you don't really need to purchase the textbook for that. However, again, like I said, if you want to get it, if you want that extra resource, go for it. Go for a cheaper option. That's all I'm going to say. So, of course, since this is an online course, the equipment that you'll need will be your computer. You also have access to Excel. So we will be using Excel in this class, more so as a means to help us either do some of our homeworks or assignments or activities, or as a way to kind of analyze data, depending on what that data is. You will not be tested on Excel. I'm not going to provide an exam to you in which Excel is going to be the primary. I'm testing your knowledge of Excel. Rather, I'm using Excel for 2 reasons. One, because for some of the things we do in this class, it's easier, it's faster, and it's just a little more straight to the point there. And 2, because I know for a lot of us are psych majors, in which case you'll go forward to 144 if you're not already registered for that now. And Excel is used for data analysis. If you are not a psych major, if you are a bio major or computer science or really anything, Excel is also used in those regards. Excel can be used for a lot of things. Now, granted, it is a more basic statistical program when it comes to doing statistics on your computer. However, like I mentioned before, I'm all about not having students pay out of their rumps for materials to this class. And as Fresno State students, you all have access to Microsoft Office Suite for free, essentially, or at least for what you pay being a student here. But that means you have access to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access probably, but you probably won't need to use a database for a class. Maybe, I don't know. But generally you do have access to Excel, so you don't have to pay an additional fee to get this. And it can be beneficial moving forward. So I do not test on Excel, but rather I want us to be comfortable with it. That way, in semesters in the future, if you're taking a class and Excel comes up, I know a lot of students get a little like nervous about Excel because it's kind of overwhelming. It's just an empty squares, but the possibilities are endless. And for a lot of students, that's like, oh my God, I'm so freaked out. I don't know what to do. I'm going to mess up everything. I'm going to click a button or hit a key, and then all of my data is just erased into the stratosphere or whatever. Part of my purpose of using Excel in this class is to kind of ease your potential anxiety with that. Excel is fabulous. Excel can do what you want it to do. And part of my goal in this class and using Excel is, let me show you how we make Excel do what we want to do. Anyway, so moving forward, now we have the assignments itself. So of course, we have exams. All of them will be multiple choice. Obviously, they're going to be administered through Canvas. They will be timed. Excuse me. Typically, an hour and 50 minutes is how long you'll have to take them, which if this class were in person, which I do have a face-to-face statistics course that I use the same scheduling for, the same assignments, etc. I do kind of have the timing for the exam mirror that of if we were to take this exam in person or have a face-to-face class, that would be the amount of time you had, an hour and 50 minutes. Now, of course, if you are a student with a disability, make sure to register with the Office for Students with Disabilities. So if you need additional time for that due to whatever your circumstances, I can easily add that into Canvas. So that will not be a concern if that is something that applies to you. We'll have homework and we'll have quizzes. There will be 11 homework assignments and 11 quiz assignments. And for both of these, the lowest quiz score, the lowest homework score is dropped. So maybe you're flying through them, they're each worth 10 points. You're getting 8s, 9s, 10s, etc. consistently. And then maybe one week you forget about it. Maybe you had a busy week. Maybe you went out of town for one reason or another. Maybe there was a family emergency, or maybe you just, outside of that, maybe you just struggled with the material a certain week. Maybe it's like, dang, I really did not understand chi-square as much as I thought I did, or whatever. That is part of the reason why I have the lowest grade being dropped. It's kind of a little bit of an insurance. You don't have to worry about if you miss a quiz or miss a homework, it's not the end of the world. Chances are that will be the homework or quiz that is dropped. So yeah. So while there are 11 total homeworks and 11 total quizzes, only 10 will count towards your final grade because, again, one of them is being dropped. So we have activities. So typically these activities are super low stakes as far as points. They're only worth 5 points, and they're essentially a way to just further your understanding of the material. They're not used as... I grade them on completion. So if you try your best and get through them, I will give you 5 points so long as they are submitted on time. But I don't take points away if you have an incorrect answer. One thing that I'm big on for homeworks and activities, those are documents that you submit to me. The quizzes are quizzes done through Canvas, so Canvas automatically grades them. But with homeworks and activities, I have written them and I will grade them. With that, I also provide feedback. So if you are doing an activity or doing your homework problems, you submit it and I'm grading it. And let's say you miss something, or let's say that you're on the right track, but you miss it at the end, or you made a mistake in your calculations or something. It's not Pearson's Stats Lab or whatever statistical homework program there is that's grading. It's a human. So if I see that, like, oh, I'm looking at your work that you submitted, all of the equations that you have, and I see where they made a mistake. They moved the decimal over too much, or they put a 4 instead of a 5 or something. I will still give you partial credit because everything else was fine. You did all the equations correctly or whatever it is that the problem is, but you just made a minor mistake. It's not all or nothing when it comes to those kind of questions. It's more like, hey, you did all of the equations, you set up the question properly, you did this correctly. The only mistake is on line B or whatever, on question 5, you accidentally move the decimal too far or whatever. So with the activities, they're 5 points, and complete them, and do your best to do the correct answers. Oh my gosh, to do them correctly. But if there's any struggles you have, your activities are my chance to kind of hone in and say, okay, this is what you missed, this is what needs to be done, etc. But as long as you complete them, you will still get 5 points for that. It's kind of a learning activity. Homework, I will, of course, dock points if you are incorrect. But like I said, it is a human on the other side. It's not all or nothing when it comes to if you make a mistake on like moving a decimal over or something like that. If I can see the work that you've done and I can see how you got to the answer you got to, it's not all or nothing. That's why I like having you guys show your work, because I can see where your mistakes are, because those mistakes kind of tend to stack up. If you don't know that you're doing something wrong, you're going to keep doing it. So I don't want that to happen. Next, we have our office consultation. Now, this is the assignment that is my opportunity to specifically look to talk to each and every one of you and address specific concerns that you have. Now, the premise of this is that each and every single one of you will be coming into my office hours. Remember, those were on Wednesdays from 11 to 1 p.m., 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and they're in Science 2, room 219. That's where my office is. That's when my office hours are. Again, you can scroll to the top of this syllabus, look at the top of the syllabus, and it will be there in case you forget. But each and every single one of you will be coming into my office hours to have a conversation with me. That does not mean I'm going to grill you on statistics. That does not mean that I am going to like, why do you think you're worthy to step in those doors? No, I'm not that kind of person. Rather, what I want this to be about is, hey, tell me about your experience with statistics. Or typically I'll start with, what are concerns that you have with taking this class? These conversations can range from 5 minutes to half an hour. I don't have a limit to how long or how short they can be. Well, probably how long they can be. We're not going to be there for like 10 hours chopping it up, because I have things to do. You have things to do. You get it. But really my intention with this is to just have a conversation. Tell me what you're nervous about. Tell me where you maybe struggle with statistics or whatever. It's my opportunity not only to hear from each of you and kind of see where you all are coming from in terms of how I can help in teaching this class, but it's also kind of a way, especially with an online class, to kind of, we meet each other. I know your people. I know you know I'm a person. I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. Oh, sorry. My programming went off. But ultimately, it is more so, okay, there's a person on the other side, and I am here to help you guys. And sometimes having a conversation with me or with your professor is a way to just kind of break the ice. I'm not here to judge you. If you struggle with math, I've heard it. I guarantee you that I have heard it before, and I'm not going to look at you any differently. I'm not going to treat you any differently. And I'm still going to do my best to ensure you do the best you can in this class. That's my job. That's why I love this job. Coffee break. So with the office consultation, technically it is in 2 parts. One of those parts is meeting with me in my office hours. If my office hours coincide with a class that you have, or maybe work, or just life in general, make sure to contact me as soon as you can to reschedule a different time we can meet. You can, again, email me with the email address above or message me on Canvas. Either is fine. The second part is the office consultation form. Now, this is already on Canvas as we speak. Um, it's really easy. The office consultation form is 2 questions. When are my office hours and what are the concerns you have with the class? Typically, those concerns are something that we'll discuss in our session, whether you've turned that in first or second. We will have a discussion about that. But I don't care what order you do this in. You can fill out the form first and then come to my office hours, or you can come to my office hours first and then give me the and then submit the form through Canvas. I'm not particular. Just do them both. You'll have until before the first exam to do this. The due date is already on Canvas as far as when the office consultation is due. So I want to have these conversations with everyone before we take our first exam. That way you are comfortable talking to me, a little more comfortable, hopefully. And so if you have questions, it's not, the last week of the semester and it's like, oh, I guess now I should ask questions. No, I want to get you comfortable way sooner rather than later. So that is why the due date for the assignment is by the first exam, which is early October. And with this assignment being available pretty much as soon as this class is available on Canvas, there will not be any late submissions accepted. So make sure that if you do work at those times to contact me, let me know so we can schedule a different time. Or just, come on in. I'll be sitting there, probably lonely, but come on in. So the GE assignment, that is something that as statistics is, as Psych 42 is a GE class. I will be providing an assignment to you in like the later half of the semester that is addressing how to essentially write about statistics. But before we write about statistics, of course, we have to understand what it is the hell that we're even talking about, what we're doing. So the GE assignment is kind of a it's essentially writing an APA results section, if you're familiar with APA. But we will get to that as we move forward in the semester. Of course, we're not ready for that week 1. No way are we ready for that in week 1. My goal is to build us to the point where you guys can write a results section based on the knowledge that we've gained in statistics up to that point in the class. So here's a breakdown of all the points and the grade that you'll receive, la-di-da-di-da. So each exam is worth 100 points. We have 3 exams. That includes the final exam. I mentioned that we have 11 homework and quiz assignments, but with one of those being dropped, you're getting 100 points total out of the 10 that are being counted towards your final grade. We have 10 activities, each of which are worth 5 points. The office consultation assignment is worth 20, and the GE assignment is worth 40, and that gives us a total of 610 points, and there's the breakdown. There you go. So for late work, let me know if you are going to be missing an exam. You'll have a couple days window for exam. I should also note. You will have well, I'll go over that once we get to the schedule at the bottom. So just make sure to contact me prior to missing an exam. If you know you're going to miss an exam, let me know. Homework is, if you submit it late, it will be deducted 2 points for each business day that it is late. So that is Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. Those are business days. And since there's no makeups on activities are to be turned in at their due date. Remember, the activities are those 5-point check your understanding. I'll provide you loads of feedback on the assignment. That is activities. So since those are really low stakes, I don't allow makeups for those, at least not for points. You can still turn it in to get my feedback on it if you want my feedback on it, of course. But if it's late, I will not grant those 5 points, just because with my 2 points per business day late policy, with it being a 5-point assignment, those points dwindle pretty darn quickly. So yeah. Cheating, don't. AI. So with the GE assignment in particular, I know AI is kind of more prevalent in the academic space now, and it is my job to kind of look out for it. So my policy is if I suspect AI in an assignment, I will let you know that I suspect AI, and I'll schedule a meeting with you one-on-one to discuss your assignment, to review it. So remember, you can use AI as a tool, but don't use it as your own work. Do not just copy and paste whatever Chat GPT or whatever AI thing is. You cannot use that as just copy and paste, this is what I've written, because it's not what you've written. It's what an artificial intelligence has generated for you. So you can use it as a way to kind of help you as far as, okay, what is this supposed to sound like? But ultimately, the words that you put to paper and submit to be need to be your own. So yeah. Goals, objectives. I'm not going to read all through those. Yeah, don't cheat or you'll get, never mind. Ew, I hate that. Okay. All right. So, here is the schedule. So now I'm going to kind of go over what the class is going to look like just on a student perspective, what each week by week is going to be. So as far as the class itself, the modules will be split into weeks. So week 2 is the first one where we're really going to have any information in it. Technically, I guess this is week 1, introduction to the class. Hi, welcome. But week 2 is going to be the start of how the rest of the semester is going to go as far as our modules. I'll release them at the beginning of the week, at the start of the week. And within each week's module, we'll have everything you need for that week. So you'll see for this week 2, we have our lectures of statistics in a nutshell, frequency distributions and tables and graphs, and measurement. Okay, so with that, in our module, you will see all of those PowerPoints for each of the respective lectures, as well as videos that accompany those. Those videos are me essentially lecturing. I am going over the PowerPoints and going over just as I would with a class, except I'm probably sitting on my couch, and I don't remember if my cat is or is not interrupting me with her tail just going across my face, but it could. I don't remember. But anywho, so there will be videos and the PowerPoints that correspond with those, so you can read or watch those at your own pace, pause it, go over, rewind, etc. That's the point of it. So you have an additional resource, not just PowerPoints that are dry. I also, of course, I go over them, but I also provide other examples or just more context for what we're learning. Also in any modules will be the assignments that are due. So you'll see that the first assignment that we have due in the class is quiz 1, which is due September 3rd. That needs to be updated. So when it comes to the assignments in the class, they will be due on Sunday night. So any class that we have, in fact, let me just double check this really fast. Yeah, this should actually be September 1st. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because everything else is right. I guess I just missed that. My apologies. But everything that we have in the class is going to be due Sunday night at 11:59. So each of the modules that we have on a week-to-week basis, you'll see that week 2 is going to be released the start of week 2 is August 26th, which is a Monday. And this is all the stuff that you will have. And the assignment is due the following Sunday. So that is going to be a theme that continues. You'll have a module released and everything in that module is going to be due the following Sunday. And the process repeats and repeats and repeats. With this being an online class and an online statistics class, no doubt, I like structure, I like organization, I like knowing what to expect. I like having a clear structure in place where it does not change. It is if we have anything you find in that module, you'll know it's going to be due Sunday at 11:59 p.m., no questions asked. So I feel if that benefits me as a professor, I know it also benefits you as a student, because I'm not ignorant enough to think that this is the only class that you're taking or the only responsibility that you have on your plate. So I think having that consistency throughout the semester benefits both of us, provides that structure that, especially for an online class, you really need, you want. Another thing that you'll notice is that the schedule is labeled as 2 days. It's on a Monday, Wednesday schedule here, except for here, this is a Wednesday. But the start of the semester is Wednesday, so that's why that's there. This is similar to my schedule for my face-to-face class. Now, obviously, we will not have face-to-face meetings. That is not what we are doing, nor will we ever, because no, it's an online class. But this is more so as a means to kind of maybe help you structure your own learning. Yes, we will have lectures each week and the videos that correspond with them. And sometimes students can get a little overwhelmed with, okay, how am I supposed to, like, when can I do this? Now, I'm not trying to tell you this is what you have to do. Ultimately, you guys are all adults and you all have your own schedules and know how you can fit in knowing how to fit in your classes with your schedule is kind of part of being a college student. But if you want some, I don't know, if you're kind of lost or like, how the heck am I going to fit this in there? These dates here are kind of used as a little suggestion. You'll see these semicolons here. This is basically broken down to, if this were my face-to-face class, August 26th will be covering statistics in a nutshell. And then August 28th, everything after that semicolon is frequency distributions and tables and graphs and measurements. Holiday is on the 2nd, so no class, but on the 4th, it's going to be central tendency and the first activity. So it's kind of broken up that way. If you want to do it that way, go for it. Maybe split it. Monday I'll watch this video, and then Wednesday I'll watch this video, the next lecture, or however you want to do it. This is just this is a potential option for you if you struggle. Maybe this is your first online class, or just kind of struggle in knowing what a good way to parse this out would be. This is how I would do it. So I mentioned the exams. So obviously they're going to be online, and you'll see here September 30th and October 2nd here, of course, kind of parsing out those weeks. Now, what this is going to entail for us is that for exam review, I'm going to post a video recording of me going over the study guide. I do provide you study guides for each exam, the 2 in the course of the semester, and the final study guides will be provided for all 3. But for our exams in this class, for our online structure, I'm going to post a video of the exam review, and you guys can watch that. Obviously, I would encourage to watch it. And if you have any questions, of course, you can visit me during my during my office hours, email me, message me, whatever. Typically, about a day or 2 after posting the exam reviews video, which, let's say I post that, I'll have that available to you on Monday, September 30th. Give it 2 days, probably on October 2nd, I will post the exam itself. So the 30th will be when the exam review video goes up, the Monday of that week. This will also go for the 18th and 20th of November. So the 18th / the 30th of September, you'll get the video where I'm going over the study guide. I'll give you a couple days to kind of mull that over, look it over, decide if you have any questions, reach out to me. And then the exam will be posted the Wednesday of that week, be it October 2nd or for the second exam, November 20th. Okay. You will have a couple days to do that exam. So you will not have to do it all in one day, but rather you will have the time to actually complete the exam. Actually, yeah. So that's how the exams are going to work. So if you have any questions on that, or honestly anything with this study guide, anything with this syllabus, please reach out to me. Please ask me. I will answer. Our final, I know this is like a bazillion years in the future. It seems really far away, but it tends to go by pretty quickly. Finals week is December 16th through 19th. Your final will be made available online starting December 16th, and it'll close December 19th at 11:59 p.m. So you'll have all of finals week to take the final in this class. Okay. With that, that's the syllabus. That's the structure of the class. I've gone over assignments, how to contact me, when my office hours are, the structure of the class as far as module by module. Canvas will also obviously be a big help in knowing those due dates. I'm getting access to when it is. Keep in mind though that we do have due dates that aren't on a week to week basis, at least mainly for the office consultation. That will be due before the first exam, which we know is October 2nd. And then the GE assignment, I didn't actually go over that on here, at least in my discussion, but it was on the course syllabus, the syllabus course calendar. That is due December 8th. That is Sunday. So keep in mind, you do have those kind of more time assignments. Not all of our assignments are changing week to week, like our homeworks and our quizzes. But you do have a couple of assignments that are more long-term. So make sure that you keep on top of those when they come up. Office consultation being the first. And with all of that being said, yeah, if you have any questions, send me an email, send me a Canvas message, what have you. And I look forward to another exciting semester of online statistics. So I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you.